And welcome back to another episode of the Credit Authority. Once again, I am your host, Rhonda Kulch, and I love when I have the opportunity of bringing on amazing guests. This guest freaked me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I was not a believer in the whole mentalist magician thing, but as some of you already know, I just came off the CSE Great Gatsby and Celebrity Golf outing, and I had the opportunity of meeting our current guest. So, welcome, my friend Josh. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
I know that you and I met and you did the whole put out your hand, let's have a conversation. And I was a little skeptical. And I probably even said something like, hey, are you a mentalist? Because that's not going to work for me.
Yeah,
And you were like, no, I'm good. Just watch, just watch. So, oh my God. So I am now a fan. So thank you so much for showing me to the brighter way of magic.
of
Let's
course.
talk for a minute about who you are and how you got started in your space.
Sure. So I am celebrity magician and mentalist JoshPele Magic, and my story is very unorthodox. A lot of people typically get into it from seeing a magician when they're younger, buying a magic kit when they're younger, something to do with their childhood. For me, it was very different. I went on a trip to Italy about 3 years ago, and I brought a deck of cards with me just as something to fidget with, just like people like to shuffle, kind of like anxiety relief, whatever you want to call it. And as I was doing that, I came up with an idea for a card trick. But I don't do magic and I don't do card tricks, which means I have no idea if what I think makes sense. I'm just thinking it. So, like any crazy person would do, I went around a country that doesn't speak English and I don't speak Italian, and I was doing it to strangers over and over on repeat, but I was getting really good reactions. So when I came back to the US, I was like, maybe I should try another thing. And I just kind of got another video out, and social media wasn't as crazy as it was like with the Instagram functionality. You didn't have videos yet, I don't believe, or the stories. You couldn't like stories. So it was very different, but I got a lot of attention. And so I grew from there. And now I get to do all kinds of events, galas, celebrity outings, golf outings, nightclubs, restaurants. I've done funerals before. I do everything.
So I'm going to stop you there for 1 minute. Did you always have an entrepreneurial spirit, or is this the first time that you've adventured into being really a business owner?
Well, definitely the entrepreneurial spirit. I did all kinds of stuff. In middle school, I got in trouble for selling candy. I made like $300 in a month off of selling candy bars for $1. And my dad was just funny. I was like, Dad, I'll pay you back 15. Just give me a week, and I'm gonna sell them. In high school, I had an idea with my brother to create a custom cage for pets. So a lot of different animals have care requirements where you need food, you need water, but then you need temperature control, you need lighting, you need that. So we had this all in one idea, and we didn't have a prototype, but we pitched the idea to Shark Tank, and we made it to the third or fourth round, the round just before you get onto TV. And we didn't make it to TV because we didn't actually have the prototype, but we had the business idea. But that was kind of cool. So I've always definitely been around the idea of creating and innovating, and now I have a platform through magic to be able to infinite possibilities with that.
So when you meet somebody for the first time, normally when you meet somebody who has the skill set that you have, they've been training in their craft for years, which clearly you only have a handful of years of experience. So when you realized that you were onto something, what did you do to really embrace it and learn?
Yeah, this is definitely where the entrepreneurial side really skyrocketed in my career. Was at first I didn't know anything about magic, so I didn't know where to start, what to do. I thought it'd be a good idea to reach out to other magicians to connect and talk, kind of like networking in business. It didn't work well. A lot of them either
They're
I don't
like,
know.
kid, we're not giving you our secrets.
Yeah, but it wasn't even about asking for secrets. I just want to know how do you be a magician, right? Like say you have the magic, right? How do you go about your day? How do you operate? How do you start to build off of the skills you already developed? And so a lot of them didn't. No one really paid attention or gave me time. They gave me like a call, like intro 10 minutes to get to know me, and I guess that maybe they thought I wasn't of value to them, or maybe they thought I was not really a serious magician. I don't know what it was, but none of them really helped me at all. And so I was like, that's when I realized magic is kind of the only industry where the other people in your industry have no effect on your business, and their advice and opinions actually won't change anything. And so I took to my entrepreneurial side. I'm like, I'll figure it out because I know how to connect with people. I know how to put myself out there. And as I continue doing that, I'll develop the skills on my own. And then it worked. I started getting shows and bookings. And then those same people that wouldn't give me the time of day in the past, now I see that they watch my videos. They're viewing my stories. Some of them aren't even following me and they see every single video. So it's kind of funny to see. They're probably wondering, how did he do it? I was like, well, I just figured it out.
So obviously, it must be a lonely space in magic. Now I'm assuming, you're by yourself. Do you ever work tandem with anybody or do you travel with anybody?
No, I do it all myself. People always ask, like, who's your manager? You do all these events. It's like, I'm my manager. I do my social media. I do my emails. I write my own contracts. I write my invoices. I book my travel. No, I haven't worked with any. I have a new residency starting at a restaurant where there's going to be another magician, but apparently they have two locations, so they're just going to swap us. So I don't know if I'll ever actually end up meeting him because the day I'm at the restaurant, he's at the other one, and the day I'm at the other one, he's at the first one. So haven't really worked hand in hand with them, but definitely would be open to it. I'm always one for growth. I think, with everything you do to grow, it's always as a team. It doesn't matter if someone's in your industry or not. You help each other get to wherever you're trying to go. So I would be very excited for that.
Which I love it because you're a team player. So talk about team playing. I obviously met you at a golf outing. You are known for being in that celebrity space. How did you how did you springboard into the celebrity space? Because I'll just be the first to say, it's not easy to get in there, right? So did you know somebody? Did you perform somewhere and then you were invited?
Yes. So my celebrity thing began, say, a year and a half ago. I'm very into electronic music, and I was going to a lot of shows, and I was like, oh, it'd be fun to perform for DJs. And I started making my rounds doing only DJs. And I was like, but now I want to do more. Like, I have so many DJs. I've done like 30 DJs, but like, zero rappers, zero actors, zero wrestlers. It's just all zeros. I was like, it would be cool. How do I tap into the hip hop space? How do I tap into that? But throughout that pursuit of DJs, right? Everyone likes music. Everyone goes to concerts. I slowly built, my connections and my network in New York. And so they invited me here and here, but very long nights because, if I'm there and the celebrity's coming, he's not coming till 2 or 3 a.m. So I'm going to be out till 4 or 5 regularly. But, I go out to network. I'm probably one of the few people that goes out to a club strictly for business. I'm like, nowadays it's very like, not how it used to be. People are on their phones, people are on their tables, they're very to themselves. It used to be like when I was a kid, I didn't really know, but people tell me it used to be a lot of like you would go to the club to talk to people, and I keep that old school way. And so I kept getting invited to these events, making that network, and then eventually establishing my name to the point where I say, okay, now I want to get paid to come to these places. Let's
Mhm.
talk. And I developed myself enough to have that resume. I remember one time someone was like, show me the list of celebrities you've done, and that list was like 15 people. And in a year since then, it's now like 155 people or something like that. It's gone like crazy because now I have that network, I have that name. And so for the celebrity outing, I was actually hired for it because one of the vendors, or the sponsors, they knew me. They've had me do other events. They saw me at other events and how the celebrities loved it, and they're like, we want you to represent us. Can you come to this event? Can you come to that? And now it's exciting because as I do that, now I meet more amazing people such as yourself, and
Yeah, we
the
hit it
opportunity
off
is
after
great.
I learned how to be a believer. So now if somebody wants to reach out to you and they're interested in having you perform at one of their events, how does somebody get in contact with you?
Sure, you could find me on my website, which is joshpelemagic.com. Josh, Josh, P as in Peter, ELE magic.com. You can find me on any social media, Josh Pele Magic. You can Google me, I'm there. Anything you find, text me, call me, reach out to me. I'd love to be a part of whatever you have going on.
Well, I love it. I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to meet you. I'm even happier that you had the opportunity to come on our show. So, with that said, we are out of time. But, Josh, thank you so much for joining us today. Stay tuned. We're getting ready to bring you another amazing guest right here on the Credit Authority.
Thank you for having me.